Hello everybody, and welcome to my Minecraft world. This is what people like to call their forever world. So yeah, this is kind of my forever world. Wasn't really intending it to planning for it to be this way. It was just, I had the idea like, I think it's around 2 years ago. We'll check in the logbook, but to just start a world, and I've had so many 2 week phases, but instead of starting a new world every single 2 week phase, I decided to just continuously play on this world. So yeah, that's the story. It's gone. I don't play it like super consistently. I do take long breaks. But yeah, this is everything I've gotten done so far. So we'll start here. This is my starter area. This is the idea tree. But this was the first thing I built in this world. This was my starter house. My bed was here. It later turned into storage when I built the actual house. But yeah, this is my first bed right here. Um, Rest in peace to these previous pets. And this is kind of like I used to think this looked like a half moon, but now I'm realizing it kind of doesn't. But this is just my simple starter farm. All this cow pen used to be right here, but I since expanded it and moved it over there. And alright, let's sleep real quick. Alright. So yeah, just a quick map of this section of the town. Let's see. Fishing shack, small boat, potion book. So we started the potion book and started to work on the nether, but it's funny, I still have never done those top two. But yeah, we're kind of nestled up right along this river here, and we'll get to that stuff later. So after I built this, I think the first thing I built was either this or that over there. This is just a nice little enchanting setup. Villager tree. This is still my mine actually. Got a nice little garden area. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna take out Frostwalker. And then I built this. This is my house and still is my house to this day. Kind of an interesting style, never really done anything like this, but just kind of block spammy. Inside it's pretty cozy, got some hanging plants, nice place to sit, a good kitchen, food in the fridge. And then upstairs is just my little bedroom area with some knickknacks. Here's this log. So log once on August 8th. I wish I would have put the year. I really should have put the year, but this had to have been June, July, August, maybe August of last year or the year before. Honestly, don't really remember. Well, no, because oh wait, May, June, July, back around to August again. Built a new horse stable about a week ago today, and I defeat the Wither. I think that was this year. So yeah, a little over a year old, I think. Here is my potion brewing house. Good stuff in here. Book of brewing. Yep, just pretty basic stuff. Moving over here, I got the smeltery. And I also have some villagers in here now. Yep, pretty simple. This is how I power up this furnace, and this is just like a simple, super simple auto furnace. Got the stables there, and I think we'll clear everything on this side of the village first because it's a little more sparse over here. Right here we have the library, and then in here we got my mending guy. Yep, this guy. I thought it turned out nice. Nice little library. Got a good view of the mushroom. And then there's more villagers underneath there with more books. This is my upgraded farming area. Got the chicken coop. This little farmer's house. Yep, just really plain. Big pen, sheeps, cows. Still use all these manual farms. Over here we got the bee apiary like greenhouse. Thought this one turned out really cool. Got all the bees in here and all these flowers and glowberries, and then see all these beehives over here. Should probably come and harvest these soon. I'll quickly head over here because it's the only thing left. I plan on making this a quarry, but now I think I don't want to do that here. So I don't know. This is kind of on hold, but my beacon's down there. And then that I've actually never looted despite how close it is. But this is kind of like a work in progress. Don't really know. It's kind of just like a concept right now. But probably eventually where my main base will be. If I feel like expanding here in the future. Yeah, but just like a sandstone castle. Wanted to create something like kind of nostalgic and more like old Minecraft looking. So that's why I built that. There's my nether portal. We'll go in there at the end. But oh, I really love how this apiary turned out. Okay, let's head back into town. So one of my favorite builds is this farmhouse right here. Just because I think it looks cool with the silos and just like all the crops surrounding it. And also it serves a very functional purpose because I have a bunch of farmer villagers in here. And actually underneath this, I have a like a carrot, potato, and wheat. Well, I guess not wheat, bread farm. And up there is just storage, bulk storage. But, they got their own accessible crop field out here. But yeah, back here, yeah. So all those crops underneath come down or come up. You just heard that. Comes up a water stream, then it goes into here. And this thing works very well. So he always gets full very fast. And then I meant to make a wheat farm. Did not realize that they would just turn it into bread. But now I just eat a bunch of bread, sugarcane farm. This is actually my villager breeder design on YouTube, but it works super well, as you can see by just the ton of villagers that I have in there. It's really simple. They get stuck in there. These guys breeding right now? It should be turned off. But normally there'd be 3 beds in there, and then there's guys in this, and then you can take this track wherever you want to take it. I'm gonna step away from that because it's really loud. Turn the friendly mobs down a little bit. Alright, here we have the build that I'm to this day probably most proud of out of anything I've ever built. It's my first like kind of organic structure. Can we get a better view on it from somewhere? Maybe the top of the farmhouse. But yeah, first organic structure. And I don't know, I think with like the blending and stuff, just turned out really well. And oh my gosh, I didn't realize that mushrooms spread. Like, I just placed it on a few of these, but man, they've just like popped up everywhere by kind of like. Oh, and as you can hear, this is my mob farm. So this is to cover up the mob farm. Just come down here, land on a campfire, do all that. But yeah, nice little cozy interior in here. You can actually watch them cook if any of them fall down. But yeah, super nice, super cozy. Is there anything up here? I don't think I ever put anything up here. Nah, just a bed. But yeah. Very cool. One of my favorite builds. Then after I built that and this, I built this camp town right here. And there's this nice little like concert like theater area. They come do shows. This was populated with a bunch of villagers at one point. It's kind of like an experiment to see how long they last. It didn't last very long, unfortunately. But yeah, this is a really fun idea. I think you could put into any world. These are supposed to be just like someone had a tarp and they like tarped it over here. But yeah, it's like a bunch of like people who are maybe just stopping in the town for a little bit and need a place to stay. But yeah, this is supposed to look like a backpack sitting on the floor. But yeah, we got just a bunch of campfires, some wagons. It's like, you know, maybe some people who are selling goods. But yeah, these are supposed to be like sleeping bags. I don't know, I thought it turned out really cool. And then, I don't know, fitting in with the theme of just like outrageously large things. I thought it would be fun to build like this shoe. And I don't know, I like the shape. I think it definitely could have some better work done to it. But, you know, I think it's okay build. And inside here is my moss farm. Moss and bone meal farm, you know. I think you just, yeah, you just remove this if you want it to be a moss farm. Yeah, that's right. And then moving back over here is a not really recent, but more recent build. The Camptown stables. Got my horse in here and, you know, just some necessities for the horses. Nice little wagon out front. Get to that in a second. This is where I spent most of my time. This is the storage room, and honestly, it's pretty much my house now. But I really love this design, even though it's so simple. I don't know. It screams like old Minecraft, but you know, it's got some newer blocks incorporated. And yeah, coming down into here, I will upgrade this now that we have copper golems. I'm gonna do a copper item sorter, so stick around for that video. And yeah, there's my dragon egg, you know, just everything that you need in the storage room. Trash, dog, cats. I got the cats by all the doors because I have these on here, so like if a creeper walks in and sees the cat, it's gonna hopefully walk out. I don't know. Those cats used to be outside, but I don't know. We've been all good as of recently. Going down. This is like bulk storage. Haven't really need to use it much, and then just a couple blast furnaces in case I need to smelt up a bunch of ore. Got Zombert here, right here. I just thought he was cool to keep around because he's all chainmail. Going back up. This is just where I sleep. And, you know, got a nice map of kind of everything I've done here. But yeah, the idea is that this place is like kind of like my office, but you know, it's pretty much my home now. Anywhere there's a bed can be your home in Minecraft. Coming back out here, over here I do have plans for this area, but for right now, it's just kind of use it to farm for wood mainly. Die, bruh. And then here is my newest project that I've taken on in probably the last 6 months, I want to say. I went on a long stint of not playing recently, just because I've been playing, gotten into other games, and, you know, busy with real life things. But just recently I've gotten back on and started trying to complete some of this stuff. So yeah, this first street, I really wanted to build like a small city at the edge of the water here. And because it's like a I just love the variety of style that you could do in a city. So, you know, this is just like a little convenience store. I don't really know. It's supposed to look like these guys are like on ice. Over here is Gary's garage. There's Gary. You know, looks like he's works on the, what are these called? Wagons. Yeah, he's like a wagon worker. And you know, this building is like a little cyberpunky, but it's like small enough that like I feel like it still blends in well with the rest of the city. Here is a nice little restaurant. You know, maybe it's like kind of like a nicer restaurant, but I've got a bar here, place to cook back there. You know, so you can do the reservations there. Yeah, I really like the vibe of this place. No upstairs, cause I don't know, just these buildings are already so small. I didn't want to figure out like a staircase or something. You know, this is the post office. You know, that one's pretty simple, but yeah, mainly for the outside. Here is the courtroom. And I think this is on this, out of all the buildings in the city, I'm pretty sure this is the first one that I built. And yeah, recently came in here and added some shelves for the seating. But yeah, I think this turned out pretty nice. Oh. And coming down this way first, we got this building. This is definitely my favorite building in the city, just because I feel like I I implemented it so well. For those that don't know, this is supposed to be Bob's Burgers from the show Bob's Burgers, complete with a full interior that's pretty accurate to the show. You know, there's more booths here in the show, but I feel like it captures the feel really well. Even has the black bathroom in the show. And, you know, Bob's flipping burgers back here. You even got a little cooler area for here for like lettuce, potatoes, meat. Even back here we got like the dumpster and things, and there's like a pallet there in the show, so that's what that's supposed to be. Coming out of the restaurant, oh, burger of the day, the Blocky Burger. Hell yeah. These two buildings, I just did the facades for, and I haven't found the motivation to like complete them honestly. Same thing with this one. Really like the way this one turned out though for it being so small. But the street will eventually go this way and it'll continue down. There'll be an aquarium at the end of the road. I think there'll be a bank building right here. This will continue, and then there will be a lighthouse out there. And I love that piece of terrain over there. I really want to do something there. I think that's considered like a flower biome, like a flower forest or whatever. So I was thinking of adding a bunch of dye farms over there. And then the reason why I'm not doing the quarry there anymore is that there's a really cool like cave in the side of that mountain there. So I'm gonna turn that into like a dwarven area probably. Oh, but sorry, got sidetracked. Going back to Bob's Burgers. Going up the stairs, we got, I think this is Jean's room. Yeah, that's Jean's room. Got the living room, live, laugh, love burgers. You know, it's really hard to do at this scale. This is Bob and Linda's room. We got bathroom. This is Luis's room. Her room's like literally a closet in the show, so it works out. Tina's got the biggest room out of all the kids. You know, it's all like as accurate as it could be at Minecraft scale. And then here's their kitchen. But yeah, super happy and proud of this build. Probably one of my favorite builds to date. Yeah, wrapping up here. This is like a build that hasn't really been detailed and like came to fruition. But this is supposed to be like a, so there's gonna be docks all around here. The idea of this is that this is like a dock processing place where, you know, when their shipments come, you'll pick them up here, get here, they'll become processed and like shipped out from this point right here. But yeah, there's nothing really down here on the docks. I need to do a more proper job, but I'll probably do that honestly after the city is more complete and filled out. The city's probably gonna go to, this is gonna be the last building in the city on this side, and it might wrap around into there a little bit. But yeah, and some of those still need work. Like I should put like a billboard or something on those walls. No, just find something for them. But yeah, there's gonna be a big like market circle here, and I'm gonna do a little subway station to get to different places. But it'll go through through the nether. But yeah, here is the inn. This is another build I really like, and you know, getting better at using these gradients and stuff when I'm not lazy. But yeah, here's just like the simple interior. I actually came in here and just did this yesterday. But yeah, I think it's like really nice and moody. Got to use the shelves there for some details. Yeah, I think it's really neat. All these rooms are very basic. But yeah, I don't know. I still think they're cool. And then, this is King of the Pub Inn. I don't know. He's kind of a freaky guy. Yeah, just got a really big bed. Then coming over here, this is just a nice little lookout, sort of. Not the best, but you can kind of see stuff. So that's about everything in the main city. And I have an ender, but I'm not gonna go over there to show it. There's nothing special. I have an iron farm there, but again, this is nothing special. I'm gonna put a bunch of industrial farms over here. I've decided clear this village and just build a bunch of farms and build like factories around them and stuff to make it look all industrial. But the last thing on the tour, I think, is just this ruined church over here. And I'll walk up to it just to get the feel of like, oh, you stumbled upon it. Like, oh, what's that? Yeah, I don't know. I just got an inspiration one day to like build like a relic, like some ancient place in my world. So I built this church-like structure, and it's supposed to look like it's been crumbled and broken over time, but still standing. Inside, there's like a tree starting to grow. Someone found it, and they're like camping out here. Yeah, no, I think it's got like a really cool vibe, just being like overgrown. If I were to do anything differently, I'd probably come back in here and add a bunch of moss and mossy cobblestone. But yeah, this was like a fun, just like little pop-up build. But yeah, I think that's everything for the world, y'all. This wasn't really how I intended to show off the world. I always thought, or I never really knew if I'd show off this world or not. But I decided that I put so much time and effort in that it's worth showing it off, And I definitely want to do some more videos now, continuing in this world. Like I said, the copper golem storage system that I'm about to do. And yeah, just many more projects in the future, hopefully. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and make sure to stay tuned so you guys can see the city progress even further. But thank you all for watching, and I'll see ya. Bye bye.